We saw an angered Governor Greg Abbott today after him now knowing that he made inaccurate statements earlier this week. He vowed to have laws passed at some point to hopefully help prevent mass shootings from happening. And some Republicans and all Democrats are now calling for a special session in Texas.
I was misled. I am livid about what happened.
3 days after the deadly shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Governor Greg Abbott angry, finding out some of the details he says he was told and shared to the country were false. This is what he said the day after the shooting.
The reality is, as horrible as what happened, it could have been worse. The reason it was not worse is because law enforcement officials did what they do. They showed amazing courage by running toward gunfire for the singular purpose of trying to save lives.
Friday, new investigation details highlighting failures and mistakes by local police in Uvalde. We now know the incident commander, Uvalde Consolidated ISD Police Chief Pete Arredondo, made the wrong call, according to Steve McCraw, head of the Texas Department of Public Safety. DPS and Texas Rangers are leading the investigation. We now know 19 officers waited in the hallway for nearly an hour, being told that Chief Arredondo's response strategy was to a barricaded suspect instead of moving in with an active shooter.
I wrote down hand notes in detail about what everybody in that room told me in sequential order about what happened. And when I came out here on this stage and told the public what happened, it was a recitation of what people in that room told me, whether it be law enforcement officials or non-law enforcement officials.
Governor Abbott says there will be an investigation into why officers did not move in.
Why did they not choose the strategy that would have been best to get in there and to eliminate the killer and to rescue the children?
On the legislative side of this tragedy, Governor Abbott says the status quo is not acceptable, promising new laws would be passed.
Do we expect laws to come out of this devastating crime? The answer is absolutely yes. And there will be laws in multiple different subject areas.
While the governor himself says that the shooter did not have a history of mental health issues, he focused on saying improving mental health resources can be a part in preventing this from happening again.
If there's anybody who thinks that we can't do more to address mental health care, they're wrong. They can. We can. And we're going to.
Governor Abbott did not rule out calling lawmakers back to Austin for a special session, something both Republican and Democrats are now calling for. In response to questions about an 18-year-old legally buying 2 assault rifles at a gun store within days of each other, the governor told reporters this isn't about legal access to weapons.
For a century and a half, 18-year-olds could buy rifles, and we didn't have school shootings, but we do now. Maybe we're focusing our attention on the wrong thing.
Republican Plano State Representative Jeff Leach agrees with Democrats in part of having a special session, not necessarily on what the solution is, but he agrees on a special session. Tonight, the GOP chair tweeted in response to Jeff Leach saying that he does not agree with lawmakers being called back, calling it, in his words, a 30-day fundraiser for Democrats.